Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Molly and I do book content here on YouTube. I do a mixture of Christian fiction and non-fiction, as well as secular mainstream sort of fiction and non-fiction, both of which I will mostly do fiction, but there will be non-fictions here and there. So today I am going to talk about my January TBR. Exciting, I know. So I'm going to start with the books I have chosen for my yearly challenges, and then I will talk about the readathon that I'm going to take part in. So I am doing quite a few different challenges today, this year should I say. So I'm going to start kind of from the top sort of thing and then continue. So for one of the yearly challenges I'm doing is the Year of Maud challenge. This is to do with Ellen Montgomery, who wrote other books too, but she is, as far as I'm aware, most well known for the Anne of Green Gables series. And the person hosting this challenge is Chantel from Chantel Read Your Day. So yes, we're starting that off in January. It's going to go throughout the year. And she said we are to start with the first Anne of Green Gables book. So here is this is. I actually have 3 different copies of the first book. And I wasn't sure which one to read. I read one of them in one copy, so I don't want to read that one, and I can't get to that one anyway. But there's another copy that is by, is it Virago Modern Classics, I think. I will find a picture of it. I do have it technically where I can get to, but it's at the bottom of a pile, so I'm going to leave that. But I've got that copy, which I think it's on this side, I think, so I'll put it up here. As well, and I've also got this one which I found at my dad's place. I have a box set of the Wordsworth classics, and these were the classics covers that were created in 1999, I think. Let me just double check. 1990s anyway. Sorry, it's earlier than that. 1994. So I've got the whole box set of that. That's 10 books. I'm actually going to have 2 Wordsworth classics. I'll talk about the next one. But I thought I might read from this one, mainly because it's out. But the problem is it's very small writing, and I can read that, that's fine. But it just feels like a lot more to read. But to be fair, this is still under 300 pages. And I think it might be a little bit longer because it's bigger writing in the other book. But either way, around 300-ish. So anyway, I'm going to read this one. So that's what I'm going to do. For the Year of Maud. The next one I am reading. Oh yes. The next book. Yeah. Okay, so this next book is actually I'm using for 2 different yearly challenges. But this book is the next yearly challenge is Katie's from Paperbacks and Ponytails. She's doing the Princess Bride-athon, and this is obviously a yearly readathon based on the Princess Bride book and movie. She also said you can read and watch both the Princess Brides. And she said if you've not read or watched the movie necessarily, you won't necessarily get the prompts. But she says otherwise, in terms of actually joining in, you don't need to. It doesn't matter. But yes, one of the prompts, you don't have to go in order because there's actually more than 12. But so you can actually pick and choose. And I could have done that with a few of my books, but I thought this book fulfills another prompt for another yearly challenge, so I thought, well, I'll use this for another one use this for another prompt inside of Katie's. So this is the City of Ghosts book. This is book 1 in the series. I don't know what the series is called. I just put it, when I wrote it down, I just put it down as like the City of Ghosts series, but it's not, that's not what it's called. But anyway, that's what this is called. This is by Victoria Schwab, or V.E. Schwab. She goes by both names in her books. I think this is probably children's, you know, like middle grade-ish, or it could be like young adult, I'm not sure, but the writing's quite big, and it looks, and the kid is in school, so I'm assuming it's probably, you know, maybe young teenagers at the maximum sort of thing. So I'm using this to fulfill the first prompt actually, which is red on the cover. Obviously, as you can see, there's a lot of red. Now, I am also using this for Alma from Alma's Book Journeys yearly challenge. Her yearly challenge is technically 2 challenges, so you can do only one or you could do both if you want. And she says you can be a bit flexible with them both as well. I would watch her video about that challenge to get more information on that. And both those challenges that she's doing is a decades one, so it's like, and it starts in the 1910s all the way up to the 2020s, and you have to pick a book that was either published or set in that decade, so like 1910s, 1920s, etc. And it starts, and in January it starts with the 1910s. And her other challenge is for the centuries, and in January that starts in the opposite way round with the most modern ones, and that is the 21st century, and then it goes, you know, 20th, 19th, etc. And so this book I am using for the 21st century centuries. So yeah, I'm using this for that. And so yeah, most of these books apart from Anne of Green Gables I've not read. Yeah, I've not read any of them. So yeah, I'm using this to fulfill the 21st century January prompt for the centuries. Journey Through Time is the name of her challenge, by the way. So yeah, that's for this one, as well as red on the cover. So that's my next book. Okay. The next book is also to go with Alma's challenge, and this one is for the, by the way, the centuries one can be either published in the 21st century and so on, or it can be set in that century. So, just so you know. And so for the decades challenge for Alma's yearly Journey Through Time challenge, it's 1910s, and so I picked up the second Wordsworth Classics book that I told you about. These are the ones with the covers set and made, in 1994. And this is Robin Hood by Henry Gilbert. I don't know if this is the original Robin Hood book or not, but not that matters. But this book was, I think, published in probably 1912 or something like that. Either way, in the 1910s. It doesn't actually tell you in these books. I had to actually look it up online. But yes, this is set in like the 1910s. No, this is written in the 1910s. So that's why I picked up this book. So yeah, that is for my next prompt. No, my next challenge. And then for my last one. Yeah. Okay, so the next book I'm going to talk about is the sequel to the Freddie and Grace Mysteries, or Freddie and Grace Mystery book series. This is book 2, this is the Cairo Curse, and this is by Pepper Basham. This is for Oceana's Christian Romance yearly challenge. This actually fulfills several prompts for it. There are 12 challenges, but there's no months on them. So you can pick any one to fulfill whichever month you want to use it for. And this one you can use for a few of these. There's a couple series one, like starting one or something, or a book in the series. There's a historical one, so it would do for that. I think there might be a mystery one, but I can't remember. Either way, there's a few different prompts for her yearly challenge that I could use this book for. Because of that, I'm not quite sure which one I want to pick yet. So I'm just going to leave that open-ended. But that's fine. I'm also buddy reading this with Teresa from Creatively Faithful. I will link her down below. We're going to buddy read this together. So yeah, that will be fun. I really enjoyed it, and I'll probably tab and underline again because I'm buddy reading it like I did with the first. It's also, speaking of Teresa from Creatively Faithful, she is the extra yearly challenge that I didn't know about when I first filmed my 2025 goals. I'm also joining in with that. I will also link her video for that challenge down below as well. Her one, I think it still has 12 prompts, although I could be wrong. But they are open-ended, so there's no particular prompt for a particular month. You can pick which one you want. And it's also quite open-ended with the prompts because they're quite loose. And also a lot of them are also activity-based. So, but some of them you can also use for an actual book prompt as well. Her video will go more into detail with that, so I would recommend watching that video. Because of that, I also don't know which prompt I'm going to pick. I do think I will probably pick her first prompt because that's how my brain works, which funnily enough is what she says as well. But I might not. So her first prompt was to do with light, and I was thinking of probably going for this one just because of the way, because of like the sunset or sunrise. I would probably guess it's sunrise, but I could be wrong. It doesn't really matter, but because of the light in that, I might go for this one. But yeah, but what I might also do is use light for the Bible, because obviously for anyone who is a Christian and knows a little bit about the Bible, you know, God, Jesus, you know, they're the light of the world. So I was thinking I could use this for that prompt as well, or instead. So we'll have to see. Or I might choose a different one and use one of the activities, because one of them is like PJs, so like reading in your favourite pyjamas sort of thing, or there's a few different ones. So we'll have to see. I'm not quite sure which one I want to pick. So that, also I am buddy reading / buddy studying with Teresa, the same one as I've mentioned, in the Bible as well. We are going to go through the first book in the Old Testament, Genesis, and we're also going through Matthew. So yes, that will be interesting. I've never buddy read the Bible before, or buddy studied with the Bible before, particularly anyway. So that would be quite interesting to do. So now that I've done my yearly challenges, I'm going to talk about, well, no, one of them I haven't talked about. So one of them is Chantel's Read a Bookshelf Challenge, again, all year round. And what she's done this time is different. She's done like a one-word prompt, and it's very loose. So you can kind of, you know, be really flexible with that particular prompt. So for example, this month in January, this coming month, is beauty. So obviously it could be, you know, something about the cover you think is really beautiful, or it could be beauty in the title. It could even be a book about beauty of some sort or something. So you could be really flexible with that. So I thought, because the readathon, monthly readathon, is quite not a heavy one, but you'll understand when I talk to you about it. I am planning to use the Bible for this. Yeah, I'm just going to use the Bible for this because I think the Bible's beautiful, not necessarily in terms of how it looks, although you can get really beautiful ones, but just more in terms of, well, what's in it, you know. I mean, it's a beautiful book to read, so yeah, I'm going to use it for that. So now that I've technically done the yearly challenges, I'm going to talk about my January readathon that I'm taking a part in. So this readathon I am doing in January is a readathon that is being hosted by Whitney from Whitney's, I think it's Whitney's Endless read your book, endless bookshelf, and read, Whitney's reading journey. There we go. Sorry, I'm not very good with names. She's doing a readathon called the Give Me Jesus Challenge. And this is specifically about spending as much time as you possibly can in the Bible, in the Word. Because she felt a call on doing that. She felt she needed to spend more time in the Word, and that's why she's doing it. And she's, opening it up to anyone else who wants to join in. And I don't necessarily... It's not that I always think there's never enough time in the Bible for any of us, no matter how much we're in it. But there's never a thing's too much. But so in that context, I don't feel like I need to in that way. Like I Bible study most days and stuff like that. But I just felt like I really wanted to join in. I liked the idea of focusing on just reading the Bible and being in the Word as much as possible, and not just Bible studying for however long every day, and then not necessarily being in the Word the rest of the day, which obviously, some days are like that, and some days, you can't even study, but I kind of want to focus on the Bible, which is why I am trying to not have as many other books. But I need to use the other books, although, you don't need, but the other books I kind of need to get to because of the challenges. So thankfully, that's why I was able to do multiple prompts from multiple challenges with one book, as much as I could, which wasn't that many, to be honest, unfortunately, but there we go. It's just the way it goes. So, I'm going to talk about the different prompts. So I haven't necessarily looked at them all, so I don't actually know. For some of them, they aren't specific books. So some of them I actually don't know what I'm going to pick yet. But there we go. Prompt 1 is to read a short book in the Bible. I actually don't know what's considered a short book, but I'll probably go for the ones that are only maybe 5 chapters maximum sort of thing. So I'll probably be mostly... Well, it's not necessarily in the New Testament. There are some Old Testament books that are really short, like Ruth and Esther. Well, I think one of them's 10, but anyway. So I might go for one of them, but I'm not sure. I might also go for maybe one of the epistles. A good few of those are really short, so I might go for one of those. But anyway, there we go. Prompt 2 is read one of the Gospels. And because I'm buddy reading Matthew with Teresa, I'm going to use Matthew for that one. Prompt 3, read the Psalm, and that could be just one of the Psalms, or you could read the whole book of Psalms. Because of that, I'm not quite sure. So I'll leave that open-ended for now. Prompt 4, read a New Testament book. Again, I've not really gone into that. There is a couple of New Testament books specifically talked about in the readathon, so I wouldn't choose those because I'll already be doing those, so I will try and choose a different book. But I'm not sure. Prompt 5, listen to a book. I don't normally listen to the Bible, like a whole book. Sometimes I watch videos where, bits of the Bible are mentioned, like in sermons or something, but not like a whole book. So again, I don't really know which one I'll do for that one. Prompt 6 is to read Genesis. As you know, I'm already doing that with Teresa, so that's that prompt done. Prompt 7 is read your favourite book of the Bible. I have a few favourites, so I'm not quite sure which one I'll read. I'm thinking I might read one of the either Ruth or Esther, because I really love those books. So I might read one of those, but yeah, who knows. I also love John, the Gospel of John, so maybe that one. Or Corinthians, 1 or 2. Yeah, there's a few. I'll decide at some point. Okay, so prompt 8 is read one of the epistles, which is one of Paul's letters, or other letters. There's also letters by Peter and stuff. So There's a few I could read for that. There's Romans, that's always a really good one. Hebrews, there's so many. So again, I'll leave that up to what I think. 9 is A Friend Chooses. Now, because I am buddy reading with Teresa, she was the one who actually picked which books, because I said I don't mind, I'm happy wherever she wants to read. So I'll probably pick Matthew for Friend Chooses, because Genesis is already a prompt. So that's probably what I'll do. Okay, 10 has a movie. So this is like one of the books in the Bible or something like that has movies in them. Now, I know there's one I watched recently. I didn't watch it all, but I watched most of it, and that was the 10 Commandments. This was done in, I think the 1950s or something, and it has Charlton Heston, I think is his name. Quite a few famous actors in that time. That was a wonderful one. That was, as the title suggests, is about Moses. It has Yul Brynner in it. So if you know who he was in the Magnificent Seven, I think, that cowboy film. Or he was also in The King and I. So if you like musicals, he was in the live action of that one. And I think he might have been in one of the Terminators, or actually the Terminator. Was it in They Live? I can't remember, but anyway, that one is about Moses, and that is specifically about the lead up to the Exodus, and continues a little bit after that to when Moses dies, and hands over his staff to Joshua, but only briefly. So yeah, I'll probably pick that one, but there are other ones as well, so I don't know. There is also one that is about the birth of Jesus as well, but I can't remember what it's called. I think, again, it'll be a famous one, but yeah. So I might watch one of those. 11, Woman at the Well, so that's reading about the woman at the well. I don't remember which gospel that one's in, or maybe she's in all of them, I can't remember, but to read that part of one of the Gospels. Prompt 12, read Revelation chapter 21, so that's self-explanatory. 13, write a letter to Jesus. I don't know what about, I don't remember if Whitney said, she probably did, so, watch her video. But, it sounds pretty self-explanatory, although I don't know what you write about. I assume if she doesn't say, or if she does say, maybe it's open-ended, write about whatever. I don't know. Check with her. Okay. Prompt 14, read a long book. I'll probably, not sure which one I'll read for that one. But also, I don't know what counts as a long book. Now, I know Genesis and Exodus are both really long books. Psalms as well is also a long book, because it has 150 Psalms, I think, or 150 chapters, which I never really think of as chapters, but technically they are. So there's loads there. Prompt 15, verse of the day. So that, I don't know if there's other places you can do verse of the day, but the one I always know of is the YouVersion Bible app. They do every day a new verse, and I assume you either read it or study it, or you could do both, I guess. But yeah, that one is very open-ended because it depends on the day. Prompt 16, to read the book of Acts. So again, that's self-explanatory. 17, read Proverbs. I can't remember if Whitney said, like with the Psalms, you can read one proverb or just read the whole book. I don't know. But either way, definitely read the whole book or just read one. Double check. Yeah. Prompt 18, read a book in the Old Testament. So again, I might go with one of the, there's a few Old Testament books I could read. So again, I'm not quite sure. Prompt 19, female main character, so obviously Ruth or Esther. I think she also said you could go for ones in Judges, where you read about Deborah, or well, maybe not actually. So yeah, maybe it's just Esther and Ruth. I'm not sure. Again, check her videos, but I'll probably read one of those for that one. Prompt 20, read Psalm 23, self-explanatory. Prompt 21 you choose, so you could probably double up or choose another book. Prompt 22, read the book of James. Prompt 23, buddy read. So obviously, as I have said, I am already doing a buddy read with Teresa of Genesis and Matthew. So obviously I would put her for that one. 24, pick a book that you want to study, or a part of a book that you want to study, whichever. I don't necessarily have anything standing out to me. Maybe a psalm, because I've not really done very many of those to study, so maybe those. And then prompt 25, the last prompt, is to read Revelation, which again is very self-explanatory. So yeah, that's a lot of Bible reading. I can't remember if she said you can double up or not. I'm going to have to rewatch that later. I will try and do that before I edit this video, so I can also let you know if you can, around about now. I assume you can, because a lot of these you could definitely double up. Like prompt 6 Genesis you could also use as, as an Old Testament book or as a long book, because that's like 60 chapters or 50 or something. Like there's a few different prompts you can definitely double up on with different things. But I will double check that. I will double check yourself as well in case I forget or don't have a chance to watch Whitney's video about it. And yes, that is it for my January TBR. Yeah, let me know down below, what books are you planning to read this month? Are you joining in with any of these challenges, or are you joining in with Whitney's Give Me Jesus challenge? Let me know if you want what books of the Bible you're planning to read. Yeah, I always forget to say this, but if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and leave a comment. If you want to see more from me, please do subscribe and click the bell button. I'm usually pretty regular. It's usually once a week I upload, usually on a Saturday, but it can change depending on, what's going on in the week. But you can pretty much rely on it. It'll be a Saturday, usually. And it is usually once a week. You might see me recently this next week or so with more than one video, but in a week, but we'll see. Yes, and that is it. I pray God bless, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.